Welcome back to another exciting edition of Rake Your Position, where four lifelong friends are living out the dream from the comfort of the chairs. We're 1 week in, and I'm still Aaron, the host.
I'd say we're somewhere in between a dream and a possible nightmare right now, but it is still early. Also, I'm Joe, the groundskeeper. My bad. We do have a video game coming out. It's kind of harking back to the big console fighting games. It's going to be called House Pacifists.
Street Fighter.
Thank you, Gordon.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was thinking Road Warrior.
I was gonna let that marinate for a little bit. Road Rage.
Look for it on your neighborhood blockbuster.
Your neighborhood freezes video.
I think that's long enough. I'm Jay Lee the Rover.
I'm Corey the Grounds. Nope, I'm Corey the Statman.
Who are you?
What? We don't need no help out here. You're too smart.
Hey, I forgot what game I was watching. It may have been the Braves-White Sox game, and they showed the announcing team was talking about the groundskeeping team because it started to rain. And they called their head groundskeeper the Sod Father. So there you go. That's a sweet name.
Listeners, think of something on that and give me something other than just groundskeeper.
Year 2, he needs a new title. He's promoted. All righty, guys. So we're back during the regular season. Kind of got our old school normal routine for an agenda here. We're going to kick us off with our first ever rankings of 2024, where we rank our top 5 teams and then tell each other why we're wrong. And then we've got some fun segments talking about some reactions or probably overreactions, knowing the squad that we have here. We're going to talk some prospects, and then we got a fun new segment we're going to get to a little bit later on. So without further ado, our first rankings of 2024. If you can recall, I send out a Google form. The guys submit 1 through 5 anonymously, and then I tally them up. So I'm the only one right now that knows these rankings. But if you're paying attention to the first week of games, you could probably guess along here. So a tie for 4th. So our 4th and 5th place teams each got 2 4th place votes and a 5th place votes. One 5th place vote. So 2 4, 1 5 for both of these guys. The Rangers and the Orioles. Both of these teams snuck into our rankings. Not surprised there. I'll get you guys feedback in just a minute. Our 3rd place team getting all 4 3rd place votes was the Braves. Receiving all 4 2nd place votes was the Yankees. And receiving all 1st place votes was the Dodgers.
Look at us, guys.
I'm kind of surprised.
Talk about those top 3 teams real quick. We all voted the same, so all of us probably have similar thoughts. But Jared starts off. Dodgers, Yankees, Braves, 1, 2, 3. What's your thinking?
I'm thinking that I think 1 weekend of the season, the Dodgers probably look like the most complete team. It was tough for me to actually kind of pick some teams just based off of who some of these teams have played, because I don't feel like they've played the best competition yet. But I think I watched all the Dodgers games because obviously they played the Cardinals, but Mookie Betts.
Hey, that 1, 2, 3, huh?
That 1, 2, 3 is pretty gross. And then even the bottom of their lineup in the back half of that series was starting to perform pretty well. Outman and Muncy had a pretty nasty, Teoscar
and
coming alive.
Yeah, there's a lot of instant power, and we saw that. Like Muncy hit the game winner. Teoscar can get hot and just hit bombs like crazy. They're going to be streaky, but to start the season off with, they all came through. So.
Sure. And then just real quick on the Yankees, they came out and swept the Astros, which hats off to them. I like to see that. So I think they're here to make a point, even with having some pretty big injuries. So to come through, and Juan Soto looks pretty good in pinstripes.
Yeah, I think really it could be a 1A, 1B, 1C for me, those top 3. I think the Dodgers and Yankees maybe slightly ahead of the Braves, but it's the same thing. I think my first team out probably was the D-backs, and then with the Rangers and Orioles, I think those could be a 2A, 2B, 2C kind of thing. So I think that there's two kind of clear tiers of like top three teams and the next three in line for me. Um, but yeah, it's been I don't want to say I'm surprised by these because based on what they did this offseason is exactly what they should be doing. But I am just kind of surprised that it is actually working out for them and that they did have such a good start. And then a fun fact about the Astros, they have not won a game that they've given up a hit in so far. So
There you go.
yeah.
Joey, got
It's a
any
good
things
way
to
to
add
go.
there?
I would say mine mostly reflect probably how I would have judged it if no games had been played. I think the only thing that probably bumped up was the Yankees over the Braves because they have started well. Um, and that's without their ace. So, other than that, my rankings were basically just the top 5 teams I thought coming into the season. Pretty much, anyway.
Yeah. Echo all the things you guys said there. So let's move on to we had Rangers and O's. Anybody got anything else to add there before we talk about the other two teams that received votes but did not make the top five?
What? Say that one more time, Aaron. I'm sorry.
Rangers and O's tied for fourth there. So anything to add about those two teams that we haven't already said?
Not for me.
Call up Jackson Holiday's the only thing I got to say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean,
And
make
they'd
it
be even
happen.
better, which is crazy.
So, no, I mean, like I think Corey kind of nailed it with how to rank them and probably like 1A, and then just people barely miss it. So I think the Rangers and O's are not too far off from those teams, honestly.
And the other two teams that got our fifth place votes, Joe, you voted Diamondbacks, is that correct? And then
yes.
I voted Pirates because they're 5-0. And what we learned last year, according to Jared, if you go undefeated to start the year, I don't care who you play, you go undefeated, you're beating major league teams. So I snuck them in there. Now, caveat, asterisk, it was the Marlins who can't score runs. So, but the Pirates do look pretty good. They're fun to watch. Jared Jones, that rookie pitcher, had a good debut, and Paul Skeens is on the doorstep. So that was more just to have fun with the 5-0 Pirates, who have the best record in the Central right now.
What else did we learn last year about the Pirates?
They get hot and don't stay hot.
They are a Trojan horse. They are a wolf in sheep's clothing. They are, I don't know what else they were,
But there's no Wolves in the Central, so they might have a chance.
True. And what if they don't? What if they don't, Joe? What if they just go 162-0?
That'd be amazing.
surprise, surprise.
Well, this will be a nice little segue going from the Pirates to our next little bit here. Corey had this idea. I'm going to skip to the second one real quick. Sorry. So Corey had this idea of did miss prospects that couldn't miss, because the Pirates just made a transaction to try to shore up their catching depth with Rodriguez out for the whole year. And Corey likes men with glutes that squat. So Corey, take the lead on this segment here.
Yeah, I think everybody here has had a guy on their team or maybe 10, based on my fandom, that you hear all about them and they're these top prospects that can't miss, and then lo and behold they miss. And I think that's kind of the story here with Joey Bart, who is the heir apparent to the Buster Posey kingdom of behind the plate for the San Francisco Giants. He was drafted second overall in 2018, and then 2019, 2020, and 2021 was a top 25 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. And this could be where you see how COVID kind of affected things and maybe hurt his development, because in 2020 they didn't have minor league season, and then Buster Posey opted out playing in 2020. And so I think Joey Bart was possibly
Get further away from the mic next time, Joe.
Yeah.
My bad. I thought I got like 6 feet away.
was possibly thrusted into playing time and more of a role before he was really ready. And it's it just, it reminded me that of all the guys um, growing up for the Cubs that I heard all about and never did anything. I had all the names written down, but you guys wouldn't have recognized them anyway if I had remembered my notes. But there is one guy drafted between 2002 and 2010 for the Cubs that has in the first round and that has accumulated more than one WAR in their career. And it's Andrew Kashner, who did not even do that for the Cubs. Albeit he did bring Anthony Rizzo to the Cubs in a trade, so that is certainly something. Outside
Why
of
don't you
that,
tell the viewers what you wrote in the agenda here?
the Didmis prospects that couldn't miss, it's Joey Bart and all the Cubs prospects from 2002 to 2010.
Yeah, he did. He got tired of write the names, so he just put
Yeah.
everybody from 2010,
But
2010.
so I went back and looked at all the drafts and so that like Tyler Colvin was another name I recognized and like Brett Jackson and Josh Vitters were big names. But then like I would say those guys are like Josh Vitters and Brett Jackson. Tyler Colvin got impaled by a broken bat, so I can't really blame him.
Mm-hmm.
But especially Brett Jackson and Josh Vitters, like these guys were highly touted, can't miss guys. Josh Vitters had negative 1.3 WAR. Brett Jackson struck out over 50% of the time when he came to the bigs. The other 6 guys in the list would not have been able to tell you their names prior to me looking them up. And these are first round draft picks. This was meant to be more about Joey Bart, but here we are. This is kind of how things go especially when this particular topic, because so this is the time in my life. Let's just clear the schedule, guys. Where every year the Cardinals would call up guys like Alan Craig, who nobody ever heard of, and he was just some guy. They're like, oh, he got hurt. Let's call up Alan Craig, who hits, I don't know, 450 for 3 years straight.
And never good after the Cardinals.
No. So yeah, and gets base runner interference called one time, which is baloney. Also,
No, that was the appropriate call.
You know what? Me and my buddy, I'm gonna get my buddy Will Middlebrooks on here. And we're gonna talk about this.
I'll fight him.
But it was just like it
I'll
was
also
so
fight him.
it was so frustrating having all these big Cubs prospects that couldn't miss. They were awful, and the Cardinals just call up these guys that I think they found at a Sears because it was going out of business. And they're like, "Hey, can you come play outfield for us?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'll hit 450 for 3 years, and then I'm gonna go get a bag with the Red Sox and be absolute garbage again."
Yeah, but how long has that been since that's happened?
It's better now. That's the thing is I think
The script is flipping, it seems.
yes. So 2011 was Javier Baez was the first round pick, and then you saw the Cubs kind of start hitting. And I think that is something that as the times are changing now and the analytics are getting a little bit better, first round picks are a little bit more of a sure thing than they were before, barring injury, obviously. But it's not like the Cubs have hit well. It's not like the Cardinals are just completely missing all the time. The Cubs have just had overwhelmingly good luck, I would say, for a period.
Well, on
Anyway,
mine,
go ahead.
I picked a guy that made his debut in 2009. And on that list, going in 2009, Josh Vitters is ranked 34th by Baseball Prospectus. I remember good old Josh Vitters. This guy, Jordan Schaefer, was ranked 50th in the top 100. He was the Braves' number 3 prospect. Hayward was number 1. Tommy Hansen was number 2. Schaefer, number 3. Gorkis Hernandez, I don't know if you guys remember that outfielder, number 4. And Freddie was number 5. So going 2009, Jordan Schaefer was ranked between Hayward and Freddie. He has an 850 OPS in AA as a 21-year-old. Skips AAA, opening day starter for the Braves in center field at Philly. Goes 3 for 10, 2 homers, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Can't go wrong. And then he didn't hit another homer for the Braves for the rest of that year. Played 47 more games without hitting a homer. Got demoted for a year and a half. Comes back up a year later. Was trash, so they swapped him to the Astros for Michael Bourne. And then a couple years later, grabbed him off waivers. He still couldn't hit. And so the Dodgers, Cardinals, and Giants all tried him as a two-way player when that was starting to take off. And I know I saw him pitch for the Cardinals in spring training a little bit, but he has no in-season pitching appearances.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm sure you're looking at this, but his baseball reference picture is in a Cardinals hat, and he
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
played in the big leagues with the Cardinals.
Yep. Negative 2.2 WAR to go from number 3 prospect, number 50 overall, have that kind of huge hype debut in Philly as a 22-year-old who never played AAA to complete. I mean, he forgot to hit. And I always wondered like if that opening series, all of a sudden he thought he was this hitter he wasn't. Because I think in the minors, his most home runs was like 10 or something like that. And here he is in the bigs, 3 games in, he's already got 2. Instead of getting on base with his elite speed and base running ability. So his major league batting average is 228. His major league OPS, I had it here a second, career 615. So he 850 in AA to 615. In the majors, and he's still only 37. Like you look at these guys on this list, like Hayward and Freddie, these guys, they're still like active. Like he could still be playing, but he hasn't been on a major league roster in season since 2015. I know he tried pitching a couple years after that, but never made it back to the bigs as a pitcher. So Jordan Schaefer was mine that I just loved watching, and he had all the hype in the world, and then flamed out.
Yeah, and I don't have much to add to this, but I do like it, and it's something maybe we'll continue. And listeners, you can think of your own. But one thing I noticed today as I was driving home from work, I'm listening to the Cardinal game, lol, and I mean they had guys on base every stinking inning, and you want to talk about a team that can't hit. But anyway, so I want to say there's 2 on, and Jordan Walker's up next, and I hear the announcer go, and they're pitch hitting for Jordan Walker. And I'm like, how? And I know you got matchups and you got all this analytics and stuff, but I'm like, this is your uber prospect who so far has not done a whole heck of a lot. And now you're pitch hitting for him in a big spot. So I just hope he doesn't go the way of, what we're doing here with these can't miss, did miss, so.
Did Taylor Motter pitch it?
You say Tyler Motter? No, it's Alec Burleson.
Same.
Yeah. Lefty.
Jared, you got a prospect yet come to mind?
I mean, if we're just thinking of like off the top of our head, the one that I can think of that I think had the biggest hype and probably the Cardinals organization for a very long time was Alex Reyes. I could just never figure it out. I mean, I know he eventually got traded, but then there's a lot of prospects for the Cardinals that come to my brain that were the heir apparent to Yachty, and then Yachty was never leaving, and so then they got pushed back down. So I'm thinking people like Carson Kelly, who got traded in the Goldschmidt trade, Kisner, who was going to be this next big thing. Now you have Herrera, who's talked about as the next big thing, and now Contreras is blocking it. So I think they just want to name catchers and say they're the next big thing just to make it fun. I think you can even put Dylan Carlson on the list, unfortunately. I mean, he was a big prospect that was coming through the ranks, and then all of a sudden he's either hurt or not hitting well or whatever. So I think the Cardinals right now have a lot of those guys that are the prospects.
You got a mute button, man. You got a mute button.
I mean, whoa, is this the best mic in the world? I paid $13 for it.
It's picking up everything.
Wow.
Yeah, everything.
And I can't hear you cough.
Alrighty. Well, let's go back to our first segment there. First week reactions, and I'm sure most of these will be overreactions. So, Corey, you want to start us off here?
Sure, yeah. This is not. I did not actually plan on probably talking about the guy you thought I am going to talk about, but it will almost likely go in that direction. But I just kind of wanted to take a look at the kind of the 4 of the bigger name international guys that signed, just because it does seem like sometimes that transition doesn't go quite as smoothly as the teams that signed them would have hoped.
Will some of this analysis be in their native language, or will it all be English?
No, because that would be offensive, and I'm not doing that.
How's it offensive?
Yeah.
White guys can't speak Mandarin?
I'm absolutely It's Japanese, probably, is what people in Japan
I don't know
speak.
who you're going to talk
I'm
about.
gonna be offended if you don't do it.
And Korean. Do you know anybody that is Chinese that signed for?
I think Ipe needs a job. Call him up real quick.
That's true. Let's get Ipe over here. But so I'll just kind of go in descending order with the contracts and start off with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Is that good enough? Just their names? That's kind of like their
All right,
language.
we'll take it.
Two
Do better
games.
next time.
I'll study up. I'll get my Babbel subscription, especially if they want to
you go.
sponsor the pod. Babbel. He's had two
Could be the
starts.
first.
Yeah, that's true. 2 starts, 6 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 1.17 WHIP, 7.5 ERA, but he's actually got an expected ERA of 3.32. So I think that there's some stuff going on that he's just kind of being unlucky. I'm sure Dodgers fans are already throwing their computers and TVs out their windows because seeing the money that if they're anything like Joe, at least seeing the money that they spend on this guy and seeing the numbers that he's putting up. But I think that there's a turnaround on the horizon for him. The guy I really wanted to talk about was Jung-Hoo Lee with the Giants because he was the one that I think I had the most of a question mark about just because of the league that he was coming from. I think the Korean baseball league is typically not as competitive as the Japanese baseball league. And so I just wasn't sure how that would translate for him. But I mean, he's off to a pretty good start. 24 bats, 292 average, 1 homer. OPS is only 762, but I think he is just more of a contact guy anyway. So, I mean, I think if you're over 750, that's still, especially a week into the season coming from Korea, if his OPS is over 750, I'm pretty happy about that. And then maybe the best showing out of yes, Aaron.
I don't know if you saw his first game, but he's known for his contact and his base running. His first at bat, he struck out on 3 pitches. And then when he got his first hit, he immediately got picked off. So game number 1 for Lee was about as bad as it could possibly get. And then he's played great ever since then. I watched a little bit of a couple of his games. Giants have had some good matchups, and he's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All Lees must have that in common.
Yep.
Strike out 3 pitches and get picked off.
Do you want probably the most impressive debut out of an international player was Shota Imanaga with the Cubs. Imagine that.
Whoa.
Went 6 innings pitched and I believe gave up a hit. 9 strikeouts in 6 innings, 0.33 WHIP. Obviously only 1 game, but you know, if you're gonna make a thing that you make whenever you do something for the first time, what's that called?
Impression?
Yeah,
are we looking for impression?
Yep, there you
He's
go.
a numbers guy,
Yeah.
everybody.
Non-English guy.
I'm not,
or a Korean or Mandarin guy. Probably.
That's true. Yeah, I'm the language of
Uncultured.
mathematics.
Man of many words and few languages.
That's true. In fact, it usually takes me more words than is necessary to say what I'm trying to say.
Accurate.
You know that song by Extreme, More Than Words?
More than words.
You just gotta say I love you, Corey.
You don't have to say I love you. He knows it because of all things that she does besides words. You know someone loves you because of things they do.
Words.
Welcome to our song breakdown podcast.
Yes. We'll sing it next week.
Yeah. Last guy I was going to talk about was Yuki Matsui with the Padres, reliever. And if I could mute you, I'd love to. Reliever, 1.75 WHIP. Love to see that. But it does have a 2.25 ERA. So yeah, I think all 4 of these guys are making a pretty good showing. Again, Yamamoto's numbers are bad, but I think they could be better. I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna minimize the video call so I don't even have to look at you guys' shenanigans.
Come on, Corey.
I'm trying to do a serious thing here.
I was too.
This is serious. This is how we make it big. We got to get more serious, guys. People don't like the joking.
Yes, people like to hear you ramble for 15 and a half minutes.
That's true. My mom does. She thinks that I'm the star.
Every Bart's a star.
So I don't know if you guys have anything to add. I know Aaron already had his 2 cents about Jung Hoo Lee, and I can't imagine Joe watched any of these guys. Oh, well, I don't know if Yamamoto pitched against the Cardinals, but
Oh yeah, he completely dominated.
dominated.
What, are you kidding me?
That's the game you guys won, though, isn't it?
No.
Won that a shutout through 6? Both ways?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when we lost. Sorry.
That was the rain game, Joe, with Lance against Lance Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn dominated.
I must be getting him confused.
Didn't Lynn lead on the first 3 guys of the game or something?
Hit.
And then
3
threw out shutout. My overreaction or reaction, kind of mentioned it. I picked the Pirates to make the playoffs this year as a wild card, not to run away with the Central like they are right now. But after the weekend, the Pirates had 5 wins. The entire National League East had 5 wins, which was pretty funny. The East was playing each other, so that happens. But the Pirates they look solid. They brought in Gonzo and Perez, 2 veteran lefties that can put together decent starts. They're not going to blow people away. But if Jones and then eventually Skeens and Keller at the top of that rotation, it's going to be a fun team. They got more young position players that are near ready. But the big thing is Key Brian Hayes looks like he's finally figured out how to hit. And O'Neal Cruz, he slid into home the other day, guys. I don't know if you saw it. He went head first instead of feet first, though, and he looked good.
That's still not good. I'm not.
You can play with a broken skull. You can't play with a broken hand.
It was a nice slide around the catcher. The catcher was kind of jumping on a sack bunt, a suicide squeeze.
And Joe, you're big on Paul Skeens, right?
Yeah, I'm high on him.
Skenis.
I have been for a while, since high school.
Yeah.
Junior high.
So yeah, last year the Rays started off 13-0, I think, before they lost, and we didn't pick them at all to be a force of the East last year, and we're surprised. Not saying the Pirates this year are the same as the Rays last year, but
that's exactly what you're saying.
Yes, they're 5-0 on a roll.
There's gonna be one person on the Pirates that hopes they're not Tampa Bay from last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have any advice for the Pirates based on what happened with Tampa Bay last year?
Well, yeah, starting pitchers. Good luck. That's what I gotta say. Because the Rays lost like 12 of them last year.
Well, and then also something else happened.
It's kind of where
with the Rays. That was kind of a big deal.
I already forgot about that. Yeah. None of the Pirates players are that young and that rich.
That's true. None of the Pirates players are rich. That is a fact.
Any other reactions, or overreactions for this first week?
Yeah, I think I can throw this in here. This is just from today's game. First inning, hit. This is for the opposing team against the Cardinals, aka the San Diego Padres. Hit, walk, fly out, walk. So many balls thrown in the first inning. I mean, people thought it was one of the highest attended all male schools in the world. So I pulled out.
Oh, no.
I pulled out. This is the 2003 Pittsfield Sockeye stats. Oh yeah, I'm still rocking that. 23-8.
Woo, woo, woo. 13-game win streak.
And I just wanted to read off my own personal pitching stats.
Wow.
And not all of them. This will be quick. I just wanted to scroll over to base on balls per 9 innings, which was at a 0.0. So
what's your innings pitched?
Innings?
Again,
innings pitched.
More than 0.
Numerous.
No,
I just want to continue to throw it out there that I am available and I can throw strikes recorded by proof, which Jared wanted, and I now have.
That's
you
good,
have the paper. Read the innings before we move on. This is about to be a 5-hour podcast if you don't read it.
Dude, and he even has experience throwing strikes on a major league mound.
This document in my hand is 20 years old, and the ink is faded in numerous columns. You can't even read it.
Yeah, read it out loud.
We're gonna screenshot that, zoom in.
Because we all can get
batting average.
It's on Facebook.
143.
Yeah. Hey Corey, can you go to the Facebook page?
My whip is 0.5.
I don't have Facebook.
For the record, Joe pitched mop-up innings against Payson's JV team.
Yeah,
But-
for the record, my whip is 0.5, my base on balls is 0, and my Ks per 9 is over 9.
Innings pitched.
Sign him.
Next.
Cardinals.
Oh
Sign him.
my God.
Sign him.
I almost
Wait,
threw a
am I-
curveball over the
am I up
backstop
next?
because it slipped out of my hand once.
Any more actions or overreactions? We move on. All right. So,
I got two. Sorry, I was laughing at Corey's
oh,
comment.
okay, gotcha.
I got two really quick. I ain't gonna lie. Mine real quick about Lance Lynn. I thought he was about to give up 15 runs in the first inning of that game where he was hit. But man, after that, he actually looked surprisingly good. But also, he looked really angry because I thought it was about to be like, do you remember that clip with Al Habrowski where he kept throwing the ball back? I thought it was about to be that because every ball he got, he just looked at it and it was like drenched, obviously. And he's like putting his hand like almost in his pants to keep his like. He's the funniest guy on the mound. Like I'm like he may not care, but also it gives me hope that someday when I'm 37, and if I get big like him, I can make it in the majors because it's remarkable how he looks and still pitching.
Maybe that's what you're missing. It's a little
Maybe
mass.
I just need to get weight. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing, real quick.
No,
Go ahead. No,
well,
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say I sent like the quote in the picture I sent you the other day. Normally, I would see that and think, "Oh, this is a parody account." But when it was a picture of just great big Lance Lynn saying, "Well, I let the first 3 guys on, so F it, let's whatever it said, let it rip or whatever," you know. I'm like, "Oh, that's probably an accurate
legit quote.
accurate account."
Mhm.
Yeah.
The other thing is I guess it's an overreaction, or maybe the appropriate reaction. Joe,
You have
let
a
him
mute
go
button.
into the other room.
No, I'll use mute. I don't know why I keep forgetting that.
Is Sunday Night Baseball does it where they mic up the people. That needs to happen more often. That might be the most interesting thing watching a game right now. Like just the commentary back and forth. And then like I think Kiki Hernandez was mic'd up Sunday night and he made like 2 plays while mic'd up. Like to me, that's the coolest thing ever. So that's my reaction.
You can also hear his pitch call
Yeah.
coming through the
Change up.
camera.
Change up.
Yeah, well, you think you can change the voice of that like you can your GPS? Like, I want a British lady.
They do Spanish and different things. They do different languages.
No,
They
no,
speak
no. I'm saying,
Mandarin.
like, straight accent.
The catchers can. I'm pretty sure the catchers can record their voice saying it. I could be wrong on that, but somebody was talking about how a catcher was doing
Like
it to try to help.
while the batter's there, the catcher's just like, change up. Change fastball.
The catcher should say something different, like they're hitting fastball up and in, curveball outside.
It is, yeah.
Right at the dome.
Kind of, I mean, I guess they're probably forced to do it, but I'm surprised the coaches allow that to happen in game. You know, that's pretty wild. You're playing left field, and talking to the announcers as a legitimate regular season games going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then one real funny play from that too was there was a infield fly to Miguel Rojas, and you heard Kiki yell at him in Spanish something, and then Eduardo Perez was like, "Hey, what'd you just ask him, or what'd you just tell him there?" And Kiki goes, "I told him to drop it, see what happens."
That's good.
You know, we've talked about this before, but you think like, oh wow, these guys are so super professional. They're doing everything by the book, but half of them are 25-year-olds, and you know they're saying stuff like that. You know they're having fun. That's what we would be doing. That's what we did out there. Is even in game, you're gonna try to mess with your buddy or your teammate or do something crazy, even if it's in front of 40,000 for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But one thing I had, and I saw this in the first series, the actual, I guess we consider it the first series, the Dodgers Padres series over in, where was that? Korea, Japan,
Soul.
not Pyongyang, Seoul. Okay.
Correct.
And what it was on a Mookie hit, and I didn't watch the whole game. This was it wasn't a highlight. Like I know on highlights they do this, but this was actual in game. It was on a hit, and it was a hit to left field. There's a guy on base. Instead of just the camera like So in that scenario, a guy gets to hit the left field. What are you seeing? You're seeing the left fielder chasing down the ball, running into the corner. Well, this had, I don't remember all the camera angles it took, but it zoomed out, and maybe it was even two shots. I don't remember, but you could see the guy on base running. You could see Mookie like booking it. I don't know what y'all are doing here, but
We're being
was-
left fielders.
That was my
We're showing what
Marcelo
the cameras.
um, yeah, and it's showing the left fielder run down the ball, get it, throw it into the cutoff guy. I hadn't seen that really before, and I thought it was really cool, and it made the play like 19 times more exciting. So I don't know if there's anything there. I'll get your guys' thoughts, but is that something you could see ever happening consistently where, like more, I know some plays are just routine and you're not going to zoom out on a can of corn to the outfield, but it was just really cool to see way more action than what I normally saw on a play. I thought it was worth bringing up.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't do more of that. I want to see GoPros on the players.
Why
You're
not?
gonna vomit while you're watching.
See who can keep their head still the most.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
More camera angles, more mic'd up players. I think that'd be fun for
Mhm.
more entertaining is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get Lance Lynn mic'd up while he's pitching in
Ah,
a
You're gonna have to
non-all-star
play
game?
that
Sure.
on Netflix. That's not going to be a basic cable.
yeah, you need a 20-second delay at a minimum.
Like, I don't know what the opposite of SpongeBob football
Yeah.
is,
It's
but
just like,
Lance Lynn baseball is the opposite of that.
I don't know what's going on. The sound cut out. Like I haven't heard anything for 3 minutes.
His mouth is still moving. It's like, yeah, it's a bad
It's either
Godzilla
they're
movie.
either gonna cut it off or it's gonna get ruined by all of his sweat. So
Yeah, waterproof GoPro.
I have noticed that speaking of sweat, it does seem like these new
Oh, yeah.
jerseys show sweat like pretty
You
significantly.
can already see through them, so it's just bad.
did you see Rodon's?
Oh
Pretty
yeah.
gross.
It was
No.
like I saw it was like, oh, he pitched 4 innings, four and a third, and it's just
He pitched 40 innings.
yeah, it's like he's been running a marathon, and it's just, especially the gray. I mean, gray just shows sweat anyway, but
Yeah.
um,
Alrighty, guys. So we're bringing a new segment. If you recall from a few weeks ago, we had a fantasy draft. We got our 12-team Rake Your Position fantasy baseball league going right now. And so we thought it'd be fun to get our GM friends in here and give them some airtime and let you guys get to know them a little bit and then have some fun with them as well. So I'm just curious, who is going to be our first GM? Who do you guys think it is? Corey, who's your vote?
I think it's Dan, and maybe based on your just like mannerisms, he could be inside your house.
Jared,
Is he
who do
under
you
your
think
desk?
it is?
Is
Who do you
Dan under
think
your
it is?
desk?
I ain't gonna say nothing yet. Who do
I
you think it
think
is?
I think I completely misunderstood all the assignments today. I didn't know what you guys were talking about with the prospect thing. And you're talking about you have someone else live that's about to pop in
I
on the
got
Zoom right
somebody
now?
coming in. Yeah, a mystery GM interview.
I'm gonna vote my brother for some reason. Don't tell me why.
All right, Joe, who do you think it is?
The only people that I know in the league are the people that I invited, and then this Dan guy. So I'm gonna say Dan because I feel like my guys would have spilled the beans to me. But
For the record, I beat Dan. So, well, I'm telling the person to log in. They are not in this room, but somebody's about to log in, and I've got some questions queued up that we can ask. There he is. Hey, there he is. Our first ever mystery GM interview. Tell us who you are, sir.
I am Josh Otwell. I am the GM in our fantasy league for the Windy Willows Warriors, who got destroyed this past week by Jared.
Where did that name come from?
So I wanted to do something a little bit punny, so that's why I went with the Warriors. And if you look at my name in the league, the W, A, and R for Warriors are capitalized for war, which of course is the most ridiculous stat of all time. But the Windy Willows, part of it comes from, I said something to my wife about needing a team name, and we recently bought a house out in the country on a couple of acres on top of a hill. It's got a couple of willow trees, and it is constantly windy, so we call the place Windy Willows.
Don't let your brother climb that willow.
They are not big enough for that yet, but
bad things happen when Joe climbs trees.
Yeah.
No, it's the cousin that needs to not climb the tree. I should be fine. But
Oh,
anyway,
I thought you were the one that fell out of it. Is Alan?
no, yeah.
All right. Well, I've got a few questions to get us rolling, but you guys, the rest of the guys, can jump in here. They did not know who was going to be first.
We all
Joe,
guessed wrong.
yeah,
I
they
even-
all guessed wrong. Joe
I
said
even
it can't
said
be
it
my
was
brother
not gonna be.
because he would have told me. So well done, Josh. So first
Yep.
question, which should be easy for you. How did you hear about Rake Your Position?
I'm fairly certain Joseph told me. He sent me a text message and said, "Hey, me and Aaron and the guys are starting a podcast." Probably sent me a link maybe to the first episode after you guys had knocked it out. And now what are we looking at? 50 podcasts later. I've listened
Number
to every single
51,
one.
baby.
So congratulations, guys, on a great first year of the podcast. Really enjoyed listening to it and now being a part of it.
Well, thank you.
I'm
Kind
I'm gonna
words.
cry.
He's a lot nicer
Like-
than the other one.
You're a top
I mean,
10
he-
fan for us too, for sure.
Probably a top 5.
Probably. Yeah.
Described it as great. That's maybe not the adjective I would use, but we'll take it.
Adjectives
Entertaining,
have been
at least,
used.
yeah.
Yes.
Entertaining, maybe not always informative.
I'll take it.
There's our tagline.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll take that.
Well done. So what is your favorite part of baseball, or what's the best part of baseball to you? Memory or why you watch it?
I really like baseball. Not that I'm good at it by any means, but I really like baseball because of the history of it. Just for example, I read some baseball books last year, and one of the books was called How Baseball Started, I think is the name of it. And it is literally baseball from like 1830 to like 1875 and the evolution of the game, and just learning those kind of stories all the way through the dead ball era, through the wars and how that changed the landscape of the teams and the players that are playing, took away some of the prime years of some of the greatest players that played all time. Just that historical aspect of the game doesn't exist so much in the other three big sports like it does in baseball.
I like it. I like it.
So would you say you particularly like our appreciate or reinstate segment?
Yeah, definitely. Some of the ballpark and bringing back some of those old school ballparks definitely took me back to MVP 05 to swing back around to another one of the podcasts with video games and playing at the Polo Grounds and hitting home runs down that 250-foot foul line, or trying to hit one 500 plus feet to dead center.
It doesn't
Do you,
run.
do you remember that Appreciate Reinstate episode? Like, could you tell me which was recreated, which was your favorite ballpark?
I mean, the Butt Crack Stadium is certainly memorable, so nobody's going to forget that.
That's true. I can't. That's
Well done.
accurate.
I still got the blueprint laying over here, so
Is it a
Leg
brown
hitting.
print? or a blue
Why
print?
did you look down when you said that?
Nice.
because that's
All
where it's
right.
at.
All right. Well, I got
Good
one
job,
more
standing by.
question for you. Give us a breakdown of your fantasy team. Where do you see the pros and cons, and what's the goal this year for the Windy Willows?
I mean, the goal for sure is just to have fun and just to really enjoy some camaraderie with you guys, some good banter back and forth. I don't expect to succeed on any level. I mean, I think week 1 was a precursor for what the rest of the season is going to look like. I'm currently winning in this week, but a lot's going to change over the next couple of days. Had the 3rd overall pick, I think, took Soto with that. I mean, he's delivering thus far. Power numbers aren't huge yet. Average is pretty solid. Didn't have a great night tonight, but I think he's going to do exceedingly well in that short right field at Yankee Stadium. My pitching is pretty weak. Aaron Nola certainly did not help me out against the Braves a couple of nights ago. Had 3 of my starters gave up at least 5 earned that night. So I think it's going to be a long season, but I'm sure I'm going to have a good time.
Nice. Well, just wait till the second time you play Jared, because that'll be like early June, and he would have forgotten about his team by then, and you'll have half his roster will be on the IL and still in
That's
there.
what
So
I was. That's what I was going to mention. You unfortunately played me at the beginning of the season when I'm checking it every day. So sorry.
Josh, I think it would be fun to get your kind of takes on the 2 main topics that we talked about in this episode that you haven't been here for. The first one that we talked about was if you can think of any can't miss prospects that did miss, or something along those lines. Just kind of these big name top 25 prospects that you're just anxious to get to the big leagues, and then they do, and then they're just terrible when they get to the big stage. So I don't know if anybody just springs to mind immediately for you, but you seem like a guy who might know a name or two for that.
One of the first names that came to mind, and this guy did not have a terrible career, but he definitely didn't have the career that was hyped, was JD Drew. I don't know if you threw that name out earlier, but that's definitely one that comes to mind for me. I was thinking about this earlier, just from a lot of the conversation you guys have talking about prospects. I mean, I'm 42, so as a kid, really being engrossed in baseball in the late 80s through the 90s, you had no idea who the prospects were. There was no internet to follow those guys. The teams and the league was not promoting them. There was no social media for those players to promote themselves. So you really didn't even hear about those guys until they set foot on a major league ball field. So it just wasn't the culture of baseball and prospects that there is today. I mean, Bryce Harper is really the first player that I can think of where here's this super prospect that we know that is coming. And I mean, he certainly turned out to be an MVP caliber player, probably a Hall of Famer. And you heard about
favorite on the pod.
Heard about him as a 16-year-old kid dropping out of high school to go play ball at college. So
he hit 3 home runs the other day. I don't know if anybody
only got 3 hits on the year, so whatever.
Did you say 3? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 3.
Aaron and Corey may or may not pretty continuously fight about Bryce Harper through text, but
I love Bryce Harper. I just don't think he's worth what he's getting paid. The other category was just first reactions to opening week, or maybe overreaction.
If you look at the standings right now and don't look any deeper than that, and you see a Detroit Tigers team that's 4-0 and a Pittsburgh Pirates team that's 5-0, you can quickly overreact to that. I mean, Detroit is 4-0 because they beat Chicago 3 times and the Mets. I think the Pirates maybe beat the Mets a couple of days. The Brewers are still an undefeated team, at least going into today. So you could overreact based upon those records. Houston is 5-1 going into today, or 1-5. Sorry, they're not going to be that type of team long term.
What if they are? What if they only win one?
What if they are? What if they are? Jared is going to be happy.
Yes,
he's already said that.
Is there at the bottom? I'm not going to complain necessarily either. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
How'd your head get bigger?
Yeah, it actually almost fits. Oh, he still got the hat on. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a quick question. Josh, who would you say is the more optimistic Otwell?
We are both incredibly pessimistic.
Natalie.
In general.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Who's the more optimistic?
No, between you two.
Between us?
Between you two, yeah.
In the world of baseball or just in life?
How about let's go baseball first and then life.
I would not say I'm necessarily more optimistic, but I am less reactionary and less.
It would be hard to be more, I think.
Yeah, I'm definitely less sky is falling now, but I'm definitely in the sky is falling eventually camp.
Got it. It's eventually coming down. Okay.
What would you say? Does anything spring to mind when you think of, wow, what a maniacal, insane reaction that was? I mean, you lived with me. We've saw plenty of games together on TV and in person. One comes to my mind pretty quick. But
Joe's craziest reaction.
His craziest reaction. So we lived together for several years after I moved back to Pittsfield. And there were multiple holes in his bedroom door. I can't say that they weren't all baseball related. Some of those are probably Buffalo Bills related.
For sure.
But more than once, I have seen something happen in a Cardinals game or a Bills game, him leave the living room and punch a hole in his bedroom door on his way in there.
And it's a solid corridor too.
I got something to add to that too, because back when I lived there and I'd come over and watch a few games with you guys, I'm pretty sure it was a Buffalo Bills game, and we were watching it, And obviously something happened with the Bills that Joe did not like. I mean, it was probably something super simple, like instead of 10 yards, the Buffalo Bills only got 8 yards. You know how it could be. But I remember something happened. Joe went into his bedroom, shut the door, and didn't come back out. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm leaving now. So that's, I guess we're done here.
So
There
I don't
was
know if
still
Joe's
plenty of game
Oh
left.
man, if anybody listening does not know me, I would like to say outside of the world of sports, I'm a very humble, good person to be around. But inside of sports, yeah, I can't lie. You don't want to be around me.
It's when Joe goes quiet that you know
Mhm.
something's about to go. When he's loud and yelling and screaming, but when he gets quiet, gets up and walks out of the room, you're like, uh-oh, here it goes.
For instance, I gave him several years ago for Christmas, and I don't know if he still has it or not.
I
A
do.
blow up Buffalo Bills player like punching bag thing. It's got the sand in the bottom of it, so it'll stand up. There he goes.
He's gonna go get it.
Might be the best gift you could have ever given.
Yeah, you should give him a Tom Brady
I
one.
thought it
though,
was
but
pretty stellar.
there he goes. I'm
Oh,
surprised
There
that
it
has not
is.
popped. That is amazing.
And I mean, that's at least what, Joseph, 6-7 years ago, at least.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's been
awesome.
been a while. So
All right, so I thought we'd do something fun with each GM that joins us, depending on the relationship with the other guys in the pod. I thought we'd do a game each time. So tonight, since it is Joe and Josh are brothers, I thought we'd have a bro versus bro trivia battle.
I
And this
lose.
is really to show off how smart Josh is compared to Joe. But so here's the rules. To get Jared and Corey in there, you can each phone a friend once. Like you can ask Corey once or you can ask Jared once.
I cheat.
You can't tell them the answer. They have to, like, Joe needs help. He has to pick Corey or Jared. Corey can't go, I know the answer, pick me. All right. So you guys have to stay quiet until called upon, but you can turn to each of them at least once. So I'll keep a nice little stat sheet here and we'll have some fun with this. So bro versus bro. Now they're both Cardinals fans. So most of this is Cardinals trivia.
Can I mouth
Yes.
Joe when he gets it wrong?
And you
100%.
probably all the questions are probably what number was Terry Pendleton?
100%. Terry Pendleton's not on here, but you're close.
that might be ugly then.
All right, so here we go. This is a list. You guys take turns listing people. You get a point for the name. You get a bonus point if you get their jersey number correct. All right, but all I need is a name. Bonus point for the jersey number. Josh, since you're the guest, you can choose to go first or second. Do you want to go first or second? All right, Josh, you want to go first? We're doing the retired numbers of the Cardinals. So players / staff / broadcasters, whoever they are, retired individuals of Cardinals Nation. They're all on the wall out there.
Don't take the one person I know.
Faces.
Don't take the one person I know.
All right, Josh, give me your first one.
Well, you got to start at the bottom. You got to start with number one. You got to start with Ozzie Smith.
I'm out.
2 points for Josh. Got name and number.
Well, I mean, Stan Musial has to be one. What number was he? I'm gonna say I feel like this was Pujols or Molina, but I'm gonna say number 5.
He was number 6, but yes, Stan Musial was on there.
Who was number 5? Is Pujols number 5?
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
That may or
Pujols
may
is 5.
not be a next answer. Next question.
They've retired his number already.
All right, Josh, you're up.
Number 45, Bruce Sutter.
Ooh, you got the name correct, but not the number. 45 is somebody else. I'll give you a point for Bruce Sutter.
Okay.
But somebody else is 45.
Did you give us a total? How many players are in total?
It was like 8 or 9.
There's 16.
16
Wowzers.
players. So,
Counting personnel.
Okay.
And you didn't give us a time limit. So, wow, this pod's about to get real long.
Oh my gosh.
We got an editor. Yeah, but if we keep it short for the editor's sake, that'd be nice.
I can fill time.
Rogers Hornsby, number 45.
Rogers Hornsby is on there, but he has no number retired.
No number. He just has the logo.
So point for Hornsby, though.
Number 85, Augie Bush.
Augie Bush. I have no idea who that is, but that is correct.
The owner.
All right. I would have got that.
That makes sense.
I would have got that.
That was Joe's next one.
All
It was
right.
in my back pocket. I figured he'd
45
know,
still out there, but we don't know who it is.
Red Shandy's number 45.
Red
Number
Shady is
42.
on there, but he is number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
Point for
I'm gonna say
Joe.
45 for everyone.
Yeah. So you get it.
Tony La Russa, 10.
That is correct. 2 points.
Lou Brock, number 45.
Luke
This
Brock was
is
number
ridiculous.
20. He was number 20, but he's on there.
What?
It's worth it. He doesn't know any numbers, so he might as well try to get it.
And look at Josh will look down at his
Who
phone
else?
as he looks up.
I'm not
another
looking
one.
down at my phone. My phone's over here.
Here it goes. Here it goes.
I swear Bruce Sutter is Jackie Robinson Slack and him are 45. Maybe I'm wrong.
They're 42s. Yep.
They're 42s. Yeah, you're right. 42, Jackie Robinson. But 45 is on there. Scott Rowland's number is not retired yet, is it?
You can
We'll
phone a friend.
Scott. It will be. Yeah, I'll phone a friend here. And I'll go with Jared.
All right, Jared, do you have an answer for him?
You didn't seem excited about picking Jared.
Oh, he did.
I'm going with
He's going with the Cardinals guy, but Corey's
I went
got
with the
knowledge.
Cardinals guy.
We still need
Even though-
45, right?
Yeah.
Bob Gibson.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to take that answer?
I certainly do want to take that answer.
Yeah, Bob Gibson's number 45. 2 points for Josh. Well done. Joe? Joe hasn't missed a player yet. I'm impressed. You're losing 9-4 because you aren't getting the numbers right.
I'm
But
not gonna get any numbers.
You're still there.
Oh man, there's so many good all-time Cardinal greats. Best NL franchise, leaps and bounds above every other team there.
There is a kind of a trick answer. I'll throw that out there for you. Help you out.
The grounds crew got one. No.
Yeah, the Sod Father.
Let's go with the Rat. Whitey Herzog, number 72.
I love his confidence. Number 24, but yes, Whitey Herzog is on there. I love the confidence.
And are these all baseball Hall of Famers or they're Cardinal Hall of Famers on there too? Do you know?
You said numbers retired by the Cardinals, right?
Numbers
Or
retired
just
by the
players?
Cardinals.
Yeah. But some of them, like Hornsby, I didn't know why he didn't have a number. There's one other that does not have a number.
One other
Wow, I
that
like how he
doesn't
gets
have a
clues
number.
on his turn.
I
and
gave
get
you a
silent.
clue.
Lou Brock. Did you say Lou Brock?
Joe got Lou Brock already.
Yeah.
That's -5.
Lou Brock, number 45 is what he said.
Yeah, he was number 20.
That's his turn. That's to me.
That's fine.
Josh's like, I'm going to win this anyway. Doesn't matter.
Let's go with. Give me a second here.
I really want you to phone a friend
Let's
and call
go
Corey.
with number 28, Robert Forsch.
Who?
Bob Forsch.
No.
What? Did he even
All right,
play for the Cardinals?
You're both out in that round. Josh wins 9-5. We had Jack Buck is retired.
Yeah, the microphone.
Jackie Robinson, number 42. He's retired by everybody. That was the trick
Corey's
one.
playing with his mic. Yeah.
Ted Simmons, number 23. Dizzy Dean, 17. Ken Boyer, 14. And Enos Slaughter, number 9. So Josh wins the first round. Point for Josh.
Barely.
Yeah, Joe, I'm impressed. You lasted just as long, but I knew the numbers.
And Joe thinks everybody's 45.
Yes, he was about to get that. So that brings us continue talking about retired numbers. The next 3 guys that are going to be retired, you need to write these 3 answers down. Or write them down before you give me the answers. The next 3 players that for sure are going to be retired by the Cardinals: Yachty, Pujols, Waino. What are their numbers? Write them down. Yachty, Pujols, Waino.
Probably not those players, but that's fine.
Yeah, no, I have. Well, put Roland in there. I think I know his number. I have no idea of any of it. We got to write these down.
I just want your answer before, or if Josh has got it written down, Joe, you go ahead and say them. If Josh has already written them down.
Okay, first one is who?
Yachty.
8.
This is
Oh gosh.
Josh, what is it? 4, thank you.
4.
Joe, Pujols.
Didn't we just say this? Is it 5?
5. Josh, what'd you have?
5.
5. Yep. Wayno.
51.
Oh, so close. Josh, what is it?
50.
50. Yes.
Yeah,
Point
well, if
for
I had been
Josh
told,
again.
oh, so close, I probably would have got it too.
You already had it written down. All right, so we'll move on off the numbers to playoffs. If
Playoffs?
anybody knows a Cardinals fan, they're going to throw
Playoffs?
11 rings out there and talk about how successful the franchise is.
In the
So,
Better than
conversation.
throwing out
What?
wins in March.
what starting pitcher has the most wins in Cardinals playoff history?
Oh, Cardinals playoff history.
What
Who's going
Cardinals
first?
pitcher?
Are we
Are we
writing
writing this down?
Yeah, Joe, you write it down this time. We'll let Josh go first. Bonus points for his win total. So guess a win total. That'll be a tiebreaker if you guys both say it. Hint, it is a guy. Just throw it out there.
Wow,
Lou
that
Brock, number
narrows
45.
it down for me.
Oh, number 45.
And this is playoff wins, right? Not just World Series
Playoff
wins.
wins. Yes, correct. Playoff wins. Give me a name and how many wins he has. And he's pretty high all time, too. He's like, I don't know, top 15 all time.
I'm gonna
Joe,
go,
you got some, wait. Joe, you got something written down?
Oh.
No, I don't. Okay, I got something. Pulled
All
that out
right,
of my
Josh,
butt
who you
crack.
got?
this may be way off in every direction, but I'm gonna say Chris Carpenter with 6.
Joe?
I have number 28, Robert Forsch with 16.
It is Chris Carpenter with 10 playoff victories. He is 10-4 in 18 career starts in the playoffs with a 3 ERA.
Beast.
Chris
Beast.
Carpenter.
He's a beast. Bob Forsch is letting me down.
I don't know
What number? What number was he, Joe?
You should have
Bob
got the
Forsch?
hit, but Aaron didn't
No,
know who
Chris
he
Carpenter.
Carp was 27.
All right, two
Nope.
more fun
29.
questions for you. Some Cardinals history. The St. Louis Browns also played in St. Louis. Joe, where did they relocate to? What franchise are they now? That's a Joe first because I know he's not going to know.
He's so dumb.
Slightly skewed trivia game.
And I do know
Oh,
the answer.
that's a trick
make-
question. They actually absolved. They moved nowhere.
Ooh, maybe it is. Josh, what's your answer?
I believe that they became the Baltimore Orioles.
They did in 1953. All right, last question. And Josh, this is kind of a dig at you because there's not any players left on the Cardinals that are older than you.
That's
and
true.
I'm getting to that point. Charlie Morton, Jesse Chavez are keeping me young at heart on the Braves. They're both a year older than me. So, who is the oldest active player on the Cardinals roster tonight? Oldest active player. There's a lot of good choices. A lot of good choices.
That's on the active roster as of tonight.
Yep. Joe, write yours down. We'll let Josh go first.
Yeah, I got to think for a second here.
All right.
Nobody's
I'm going to
phone
go with
tonight. Corey thinks
I'm going to go with Lance Lynn.
Okay. Joe?
I was thinking Lynn or Kyle. I'll go with Kyle Gibson. Maybe he's a year older.
Oh, it is Corey. Who do you know? There you go.
No batting gloves.
Should have phoned a friend. It was Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter
Carpenter
was born in November of '85. Goldie, Crawford, Lynn, and Gibson are all born in '87. So Matt Carpenter's going to finish this year at 38. The rest of them are 36-ish.
Probably get
That
an
means
extension.
that
That's an old team. That's what that means.
that's true.
All righty, guys. So that brings us to the end. I sent Josh the weekend predictions so he could play along with us. So maybe we
Nice.
can have a GM collection, like all the GMs, all of our guests go together. We'll see their
Change
collective.
the spreadsheet.
We'll see their collective guessing ability. But we're going to
Hey,
finish out,
Corey, if you could
guys.
change the spreadsheet for us, please.
Yeah,
Corey,
that'd be
go ahead and
great.
change
Yeah, no
change that
problem.
spreadsheet.
Thanks for the heads up, by the way. It's really
I
helpful.
didn't want to ruin it. I guess I could have told you that without telling you Josh is coming. But Corey, take us away when you're ready.
Oh boy. So last week, I won. I was 3-2. Jared was 1-4, and then Aaron and Joe went 2-3.
Pirates, baby.
It's because They picked the
What one did I
Athletics.
get?
You got the
You got the Yankees. Yeah.
Yes.
They played the
Um,
Astros.
Go me.
So this week, let me get this set up a little bit better. We're gonna speed through this because we've been here for a while. That's not your fault,
There's gonna be
Josh.
10 minutes to cut out Josh trying to
That's true.
connect.
Josh, would you like
Yeah.
to hear about Cubs prospects Cubs
Yeah.
first round picks between 2002 and
Just log
2010?
off.
Nobody in the world's gonna hear that segment.
Bummer. That's how we filled time. Anyway, Josh, you don't probably have the agenda, so you're at a little bit of a disadvantage
I
here.
sent it to him.
Okay,
Yeah, he
good.
sent me the prediction stuff.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna start it off with the Mets at Reds. So Josh, you'll go after Aaron. We just go the same order and all this. I kick it off here. Mets at Reds. You know I love Andrew Abbott. I think the Reds take that series pretty easy because Andrew Abbott might be the best pitcher in the world. Jared?
What a joke.
What was that?
Just one of us hates Andrew Abbott
Be the
here,
ace
so-
on the Cardinals.
Woof.
Yeah.
I'll jump on the Reds train.
Okay. Joe?
I
Joe's looking at it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I shouldn't say this, but I will. I would say in general, if you're not on the Cardinals, I wish you an immense unsuccessful day, night, career, season. But that magnifies a little bit once you get closer to the Cardinals, aka the NL Central. I hope the Reds.
The
don't
views of the
disappoint.
groundskeeper do not reflect the views of Rake Your Position.
Some of them.
Sounds
So
like I'm
are
the
you
better.
taking the Reds?
It sounds like I'm the better fan. No, I'm taking the Mets.
Aaron?
Kind of the same thing, only the opposite because it's in NL East. So go Reds.
Right. Josh?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Reds. Mets are a bad team.
They sure are.
Mhm. Who's Michael Vaseline anyway? I don't remember that guy.
It's a good
Mets
question.
got him.
You know what?
Mets
If we're
got
going to
him.
talk about starting pitchers that we don't know, and I picked this series not only because it's the Braves, but because that D-backs rotation that is better than the Dodgers rotation looks atrocious. Who are
Definitely
these people?
dodging the good ones.
So D-backs at Braves, this is probably the easiest decision I'm going to have to make this week looking at that predicted rotation there. I'll take the Braves. That's awful.
I must like awful because I circled the D-backs.
Well, you're braver than I am. Not surprising.
I always am, Corey.
Atlanta.
I
always
know.
am.
I'll go the Braves.
Josh?
And it's actually going to be Strider Freed sale. They're pushing everybody back because today got canceled. So it's Strider Freed sale, no Morton.
Yeah, that makes it even easier. Braves.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, thanks for sharing that info after.
Sorry, I just now realized the names are wrong. So Jared, if you want to switch back, it's going to be
No.
Strider versus Tommy.
No, there's no
No.
switchbacks.
I just
Saying.
realized the names are wrong.
All right. Mariners at Brewers. I'm surprised by these win probabilities here. Josh, I don't know if Aaron explained it, but the win probabilities are for the team listed first. So
Okay.
the Mariners have those win probabilities. Take it for what it's worth because it doesn't actually mean anything. But it was just interesting that I thought the Mariners were not favored in this because I think the Brewers are a bad team, but they're doing good now. I just think overall they're a bad team, so I'm going to take the Mariners.
Yep. Mariners.
Joe?
Well, George Kirby gave up 8 today, so at least he's not pitching. And if you want to rewind and listen to what I said about the Reds, it applies for the Brewers as well. So let's go Mariners. And I think I have all those pitchers on my fantasy team. So as they go, I go.
I'm going Brewers. Brewers are hot right now. I think the Mariners will be better overall, but the Brewers are playing well right now. Freddie Peralta and DL Hall. I'll take it.
You know what happens to the hot hand?
It gets cold
Stays
eventually.
hot.
Yeah. Josh, go ahead.
No, Josh Freeze.
Oh no!
Oh,
there
nope,
he
he's back.
is.
All right, Josh, who you got?
Assume we're still on the Mariners, Brewers.
Yep.
Yes.
Mariners are better than they've shown, and the Brewers are not as good as they've shown. So we're going to Mariners.
You're a wise man, Josh. You're a wise man.
He actually evaluates it. We're just throwing out names.
Well, some of us. the Battle of Texas and ALCS matchup, Astros at Rangers. I think the Astros are better than they have been, and I don't know. I had the Rangers in my Rakings, but that pitching is rough. At least these three guys, it's tough. So I'll go Astros.
You're saying the Astros pitching is better than the Rangers right there?
It's kind
They're
of
just-
Yeah, well,
They're
one guy
both
threw a
bad.
no hitter. Nobody in the
Yeah,
Rangers threw a no
that's a
hitter.
joke. And everybody went to go pick you up on fantasy like he's going to do it again. No. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Jared.
I think we know my pick. I don't even know why Corey puts these series in here. I feel like it's an instant disadvantage for me. You're probably going to find the time that the Astros play like that Oakland
It's a great matchup.
every time, and you're going to be like, well, hey, it's the weekend series. Well, they played
It's the
in
West.
the middle of the week. It's fine, Corey.
We won't do the Astros next week.
No, I'm picking the Rangers.
Joe?
What is an Astro?
Star.
It's like a comment or something.
Star.
Is that literally what that is?
It implodes
Okay,
on
well, I
itself.
feel like if that fought a Ranger, it would win. So let's go, Houston.
But what if that Ranger's named Chuck Norris?
Well, then Astro's gonna lose.
I'm going Rangers.
Josh?
Is it my turn?
Mhm.
Can I ask my brother a trivia question as we do these predictions?
Yes, because it'll make it
So,
look dumb.
Joseph, who were the Astros before they were the Astros, and who were the Rangers before they relocated to Texas?
Ooh, those are good.
Oh, I know the answer. That means
The Astros were formerly the
I'm
NL
a
Central
savant.
Astros, obviously.
Yeah, and before
The
that,
National League.
another trick question. Neither team existed. They were both expansion teams in 1959.
But they were not originally the Houston Astros. They were the Houston something else.
Thank you. Now, my
The
answer's
Houston-
over. That's all I have.
All right, they were the Houston Colt 45s, and who were the Rangers? Aaron.
They're Senators first, weren't they?
Yep. So I'm going to go with the Astros because they were the Colt 45s.
Colt 45s beat Senators every time.
Well,
Every time.
that's
It's like rock, paper, scissors. It's
Senators-
Senators,
No, the
Senators
got
guns,
the
and
Marines and the Navy.
this guy.
and then our marquee matchup of actually teams that are performing a lot better than you would have expected them to so far in the season. But it's
Wow,
who-
second place teams here.
yeah. Poor Mike Trout.
Get ball all the way.
Go play for a better team. Yeah. Oh my, that swing. It's just
It's
the
beautiful.
best swing. Just everybody teach Mike Trout's swing to everybody.
Remind you of something, huh, Corey?
Exactly.
Not you.
My
Everything-
swing, if it connected,
Everything
the
Mike
opposite of
Trout
what Joe
does is the opposite, of what Joe
Yeah.
does.
Anyway, I think the Los Angeles Mike Trouts of Anaheim pull this one out, and I'll take the Angels.
yeah, my reasoning was also because you sent us that video of his swing. I went back and watched it a few times, so I'm gonna take the Angels.
I'm taking the Angels, Mike Trout, and Boston is a long flight to Los Angeles.
I'm picking the league leading pitching staff, Boston Red Sox, to continue dominating because the Angels are bad. That's why.
And since this is kind of a family episode, my brother and I also have a younger sister who is married to a Red Sox fan. Therefore, I'm picking the Los Angeles Angels.
Dude, I like that guy. No,
I
Yeah,
like it.
all righty, guys. So Corey gives a recap, and then we'll sign off.
Yeah, so we have a pretty decent split here. We got four Reds to one of Joe's Mets, 4 Braves to Jared with the D-backs, 4 Mariners to Aaron with the Brewers. We've got 3 Astros for 2 Rangers, and we've got 3 Angels and 2 Red Sox, and a dog in the background. Hi, Ronnie.
that was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Ronnie's not out here, guys.
I missed
I
it.
promise you, that
I missed it too. I don't know. All righty, guys. Well, thank you, Josh, the GM of the Windy Willows Warriors, in our Rake Your Position Fantasy League. And thank you guys for another exciting episode. So let's do the sign off. I know Josh already knows it, so don't forget to
Rake
Rake
your
your position.